Hey, today we're going to take a look at creating an agenda that is pretty dynamic. And we notice, first of all, one of the things we want to do in our classroom is make sure that the students have everything that they need when they are looking at the daily agenda. And this is kind of the beginning. The number one thing that you obviously need to have on your agenda every day is the driving question for your project. And one of the things we're looking at here is just the beginnings of a cancer project information, and here's the driving question right below that, and then of course we have a little bit of information. And if you click on this link, it goes into basically a 3D animation about what cancer is. So one of the things I want to show you how to do is how to get that information onto the agenda and also include some things. Now, one of the things that we have done for the duration of our cancer project is every single day that we've been doing the project, we wanted to have a picture of somebody that has been diagnosed and survived or has unfortunately passed due to cancer. So you can see that every single day there is somebody, whether it be Chris Carr, who is an actress out of New York, or Christina Applegate. Let's see, Wednesday it was Robert De Niro. If you go back a week, you can see we had Lance Armstrong, Sheryl Crow, Randy Pausch, who wrote the book The Last Lecture. He was a professor at Carnegie Mellon. Of course, Steve Jobs. So you can go on and on and on, and it's scary. And Dennis Hopper, of course. So it's really kind of scary when you think of all the celebrities and actors, actresses, athletes, and so on that have been diagnosed with cancer. And one of the things we want our students to recognize is that this is not a small issue. This is something that affects everybody, all shapes, sizes, creeds, sexes, and so on. And one of the side issues that we did was when we created that, and one of the things we wanted to kind of introduce today is this. When you click on Christina Applegate's picture, what you're going to get is a video that talks just briefly about her situation with cancer and how she feels.
It's really overwhelming to me
Well, here you go.
when I have women come up to me and say, I went to the doctor because you said to. They found cancer, and I wouldn't have. I would have waited. I would have waited until I was 45 because for whatever reason. That is like I get chills thinking about the fact that it took this to bring this kind of awareness. Every day it blows me away. So if EIF and Right Action for Women can help women on a more global scale, then that's my mission. That's the reason that this happened to me, so that I could be outspoken and forthright about everything.
My mother had cancer when I was.
So when you look at things like that, what is our goal? Our goal really is to provide the hook, is to continually remind our students of answering the question of why are we learning this, why is this important, and so on. Now, that's the way we're using it. You, of course, can find your own creative ways, and hopefully you'll teach me someday some neat ideas about how to use the agenda in a dynamic way. So let me show you very quickly how we would do something like this. And I'd like to first add that a program that works very, very well right along with the agenda, and it really is something that I encourage everybody to do, and the great news about it is it's free, is a Dropbox. And all you have to do, let me kind of click through here, I'll show you something, it's going to take us a little bit. All you have to do is go to Dropbox.com, and if you click on the Dropbox here, it is absolutely free, and you can sign up for it. There's a good video, and what ends up happening is, in the end, you have, let me get back to our agenda. What you'll have is this little icon here in the upper right hand corner, and what it amounts to is I can fill my Dropbox up with anything I want to, and then it's there for any computer I go to. And also the thing that's really nice about that is that it actually attaches it to a public link. So I'm going to show you the person that I've decided to do today for our Monday agenda is Walt Disney. Of course, Walt Disney smoked like a chimney, and he died of lung cancer. And so what we're going to do is basically go into our edit mode, and I'm going to center his picture first of all, and I am going to create a link. And what happens is there's different ways of doing it, but what we're going to do is go ahead, and all these little icons up here actually have some great really functions, and we'll talk about them one by one. First of all, of course, you have your basic word processor stuff. You have your bold, your italic, your underline, your lists, whether it be numeric or bulleted, and then you've got your justifications. You want it to be left, center, or right. And then you've got some indentation issues here. And then we come across to the ones that we're really going to use a lot today, which are the link and the image. And so what we're going to do is we're going to look for an image. And we click here. And this is going to come to this stage. And this is where our Dropbox comes in as a wonderful tool. I'm going to click on my Dropbox, and it's going to open the folder. And when you look at it, this is what the Dropbox would look like for you. And these are all the things that I have in my Dropbox. And you can see I have anything from practice plans to information that I've shared with other people. This is a PDF file with a former athlete. These are pictures that I have for different programs. I have some basketball stuff, and I also have some of our information for our PDF files and so on. So when you go into it, what you're going to find is what's called the public file. And this one's great because this is, you open this up and this is the things that I share. And we are going to use Walt Disney. So I had previously went off and found a picture of Walt Disney, and I'm going to click on that. And when you click on it, you're going to see a picture of Walt up here in the upper right hand corner. And what I do now is I go to a right click, and when I go to Dropbox, it's going to say copy public link. And what that means is it's really just creating a URL or a web address that's going to allow me to attach that. So I'm going to minimize this, and I'm going to come to where it says URL. And all I have to do is right click and paste that. This is the Dropbox address that's going to allow us to take a look at Walt Disney's picture. Now, one of the things I also have to do is I have to click on height and width. And I always, for whatever reason, I've felt pretty comfortable about addressing that to 250. It's just the size of the picture. And you can do some other things with the border and space and so on, but I really like to keep it pretty simple, and this is what it's going to look like when it's done. So I've locked it in so that it's not going to get stretched out or anything, and we'll go from there. And so I click OK, and now I take a look at what it's going to look like. And I've added Walt, and I go ahead and save just to make sure that it's there. Now what I do, my next thing is I'm going to go ahead and I want to find some information about Walt. So I'm going to go to click on a new tab. I'm going to go back to Yahoo, and I'm going to type in Walt Disney and cancer. And oftentimes you can find some information about it, and you can go into the biography, you can go into the Wikipedia account. It really just depends on what you're looking for. Here's some information about when he was diagnosed with cancer. Let's see what the Wikipedia account has, just for curiosity, because one of the things I want to do is I want to make sure that the students learn about these people as human beings and find some information. So just for the sake of this article and the sake for teaching you this way to do this, what I'm going to do is go ahead and pick the Wikipedia, and I highlight that, and I'm going to copy that URL. Now I go back to Echo, I go to Edit, and I'm going to click on his picture. And when I click on the picture, the next thing I'm going to do is click on the link. And when I click on that, what I'm going to do is then paste the information here. And I have to get rid of the HTTP because you see that it's redundant because it's already got the protocol right in there. And I'm going to click OK. I go to save, and now it takes me back to our main page. So there we are looking at it again. There's Walt Disney. Now the thing that you're going to notice, I have an arrow as my prompt. But when I go over the picture, it's going to change to a hand, and that is acknowledging that we have a link there. So we take the link and we click on the link, and now we get ourselves to Wikipedia. Now again, this is something that you can do on a regular basis. This is something you can do with any picture, or anything you want the students to learn more about or get more information on. So that's one of the activities that you can do, one of the things you can. So we did the same thing here. If you want, let's reproduce this what is cancer, okay? So we have the what is cancer URL. So all I did to create that is type in what is cancer and with a question mark, and then over here I would go into YouTube and I would locate some information. For example, just typing in what is cancer, just trying to find that same video. So I click on this, and this is the same video that was on there before. And if you look here, you're going to have your URL up here in the top. And you do the same thing.
Cancer is a group of over 100 diseases characterized by abnormal, uncontrolled cell growth. In a healthy body, cells grow, die, and are...
Okay, that's actually really good information, but what I'm going to do is go here. I have to go back to my... accidentally clicked on the wrong button. I'm going to go to the 31st. I'm going to click Edit. I may have to retype it. Yep. Okay. So I'll type in what is cancer, and then all I have to do is highlight it. I'm going to change the color. I want the kids to know. I bold it usually so that they know to look for it. Sometimes if it's an assignment, I'll turn it red so that it stands out to them. But I'll go to a hyperlink and I right click, I paste it, I remove the protocol so that the information's there again, and I click OK. So now you're going to see what is cancer, and I hit save. And now again, now we've got Walt Disney and we've got our what is cancer, and when you click on it, that animation that we would come up for the students. So that's another way that we can add information to our daily agenda to make it more interesting. So now if you take a look at this, we're starting to get some information here. We have the picture of somebody who's been dealing with cancer. We have some information. If you hyperlink to it, you have your driving question. Maybe you even add a video here. There are days where we would actually attach the entry document to the agenda itself. So let's take a look really quick at how we can do this, how we can add an activity to it. So let's say that we are in Echo, and we are in our class, of course, and we are going to go into our activities. So I'm just going to do this for argument's sake. We're going to pick one of our activities, and let's say that the practical considerations activities here, I'm going to click on Overview, and this is an assignment that the students were scheduled, and I will go ahead and hyperlink and copy that URL to the activity, and I can then go into the agenda and type in practical considerations video. And once I do that, same thing, pretty redundant here. I highlight, I'm going to go ahead and bold it, and then I hyperlink to it. I attach the URL. I make sure, oops, sorry about that. I make sure that the attachment is correct, and I click OK, and then I hit save. And when I hit save, I'll double check to make sure it works, and it pulls up and it goes to that. So the students now, not only, this is really very quickly becoming more than just a daily calendar. It's becoming a place to be. Okay, they know every day, here's my information on my driving question. Here's a little bit of extra information. It's kind of developing the hook for us. Here's an extra video that they have, and then there is a practical considerations video.